Don't pretend like I got a choice.
Forget everything you think you know about Tony Soprano's anger, because this one scene shatters the mob boss myth and reveals something far darker. Welcome to Sopranos Breakdown. I'm Matthew. Together, we'll dive deep into the world of Tony, Carmela, and the rest of the crew, uncovering hidden details and exploring the deeper meanings behind every episode. If you love The Sopranos, do me a favor. Smash that like button so more fans can find this content. All right, let's get started. The punch Tony delivers in Whitecaps is one of the most viscerally violent moments ever seen on television. It isn't just a blow to drywall, it's a direct expression of rage, betrayal, and heartbreak, executed with a rawness few actors could muster. James Gandolfini didn't act that moment. He became it. An eruption of emotion that captured the essence of a man losing control, knowing it, and not caring. Consider the context. Carmela confesses her emotional attachment to Furio, Tony's driver, his subordinate, the man who once stood behind him near a helicopter, poised to act.
Carmela, who the fuck did you think I was when you married me, huh?
Tony now realizes that wasn't just a strange moment. It was loaded with meaning. And now, it all comes crashing down. The betrayal isn't just marital. It's strategic, psychological, deeply personal. In that moment, Tony sees Furio in the wall and destroys him. His reaction may seem over the top to some, but it's grounded in a brutal reality. His home life, already built on shaky foundations, is collapsing. The woman who kept the house in order, raised the children, and endured his infidelity, for years now confesses she loves someone else. And not just anyone. Someone within his circle, someone under him. That insult cuts deeper than the affair itself. For years, Carmela lived in luxury, funded by Tony's criminal life, and she endured the affairs that came with it. She confronted him about them, made her resentment clear, but Tony never stopped. He compartmentalized it all. Business, family, women, believing that each could remain separate. This moment proves otherwise.
Every morning when he'd come to pick you up, I would look forward to it all night long, in bed, next to you, those nights when you were actually in the bed.
Yet the unspoken understanding in their marriage was always there. Tony's life came with conditions. Carmela accepted them for a time. But emotional neglect wears down even the strongest will, and the revelation that she sought connection elsewhere sends Tony reeling. His fury is not just about Furio or Carmela. It's about his own failure to keep it all under control. That's what makes this scene so powerful. Gandolfini doesn't just perform anger, he inhabits it. His breathing, shallow and ragged, mimics that of a cornered animal. His eyes burn with betrayal. It's not a flash of temper. It's a storm long in the making, finally unleashed. That wall may as well have been a man.
You know, Tony, I've always been sorry I said that. You were my guy. You could be so sweet. Nobody could make me laugh like you.
Edie Falco's performance is equally stunning. The fear, defiance, and exhaustion in her eyes as Tony explodes speak volumes. According to behind-the-scenes accounts, Gandolfini's punches weren't scripted, and Falco's reaction was genuine. It's that unpredictability, the line between character and actor blurring, that makes the scene so hauntingly real. Whitecaps stands out not just for its writing or dramatic escalation, but for the sheer force of its performances. It's a portrayal of a marriage unraveling in real time. No gunfights, no mob hits, just two people locked in emotional combat, using words and silences like weapons. And the wall, it never had a chance. It wasn't protected. It wasn't made. It didn't see it coming. Are you stuck believing that eating pussy makes you less of a man? Time to shatter that outdated nonsense.
Because they think if you suck pussy, you'll suck anything.
Oh, you...
It's a sign of weakness, and possibly a sign that you're a fanook.
If you suck pussy, you'll suck anything. Seriously, who came up with this brilliant logic? Because obviously, going down on a woman means you're automatically down with sucking cock, too. Makes perfect sense, right? Nope. These guys are so insecure, they actually think that giving oral to a woman is somehow gay. Like, oh no, I can't suck pussy anywhere. Yeah, you gotta get over it.
A sense of style.
Ralph Lauren? Collegiate?
Let me ask you a question, Janice. Do I know this guy better than you? Because I'm telling you, he's no fucking good.
My happiness really drives you crazy, doesn't it, Tony?
Cut to Tony bawling in Dr. Melfi's office after finding out Janice pimped Ralphie out with a dildo, and then, naturally, used it on herself. At least there wasn't any penisary contact, right? Mommy's little whore. What a sign you're a fanook. Poor baby.
What's so terrible about pleasing a woman?
They honestly believe masculinity means being dominant and strong, not on your knees. Burying your face in someone else's junk? Emasculating. A don? He doesn't give head. Ever. Oh, it's with all due respect, you say. Yeah, Merriam-Webster called. They're shaking their heads at your IQ 136 and telling you to discontinue the cunnilingus. These guys sound like the old-school macho maniacs who think women's pleasure doesn't count. Sex is all about dominance, not about making her feel good. Being a good lover? Nah, that's Finook territory. Only bushmen of the Kalahari would think otherwise. And sure, you can rock the pinky ring and wear all the bling. That's status, not femininity. But touching your own ass to clean it? That's 100% gay. Who do you want it cleaner for? Your gay lover. This is old school stuff. They made their bones before you were even a twinkle in your mama's eye. The rules? More flexible than the Catholic churches. It's all insecurity masquerading as machismo.
And possibly a sign that you're a fanook.
These guys are so fragile that eating pussy either makes you a pussy or a freak who might even suck cock. It's like canned clam chowder. You just gotta sit and eat it. And yes, the mafia really does disdain eating pussy. Writers have met former mobsters who confirm this. It's a well-known fact in certain circles and inspired entire storylines.
When you kiss me down there, you're like a great artist. You got a real instinct.
Back in the day, Junior whistled in the wheat fields before graduating to handjob peppers. They don't believe women should enjoy sex. Only the men should. Dominance, not pleasure. That's the game. The Romans thought the same way. It wasn't about gay or straight. It was about dominance. Older men having sex with younger men reinforced social hierarchies. The worst act? Cunnilingus. That meant total loss of social standing. You see those Romans now? Yeah, you're looking at them. Society hasn't moved that far. Cubans and Puerto Ricans carry this too. An anti-pussy sucking zone in NYC's Old Guard. Big pussy? More like my pussy. Practice makes perfect because women love it, whether these guys admit it or not. Remember, these men grew up with dads who never said, "I love you," because that would be gay. If they thought long enough, they'd probably come up with breathing being gay too. No wonder half of them are on blood pressure meds. And yeah, this is a real thing. Some celebrities have spoken about it, and right-wing nut jobs have bullied guys for showing basic decency to women. You can't make this stuff up. So what's the takeaway? These rules make no sense. That's why they're hilarious. They show just how fragile these guys' manhood really is. Oh, maybe you're a flambe, they say. Whatever, I don't make the rules. I just laugh at them. It's all a joke, or blood pressure medication talking. Is it gay to like pussy? Apparently so in some circles. Everyone's got an opinion now. This goes way back. If a man doesn't use his dick to assert dominance, he's feminine. So sucking anything means you're not a man and can be treated like a woman. Fucking other men? Fine, as long as you're the dominant one. Ancient Greeks and Romans even castrated boys to keep them feminine and preserve their status in these twisted hierarchies. This is real attitude in some macho circles, At times, men get seriously uncomfortable admitting they enjoy certain things sexually because admitting it threatens their manhood. There's some logic here, especially among ex-cons and criminals. Homosexuals are the lowest caste in prison, so anyone who gives oral could get labeled and targeted. It's rough out there, and these dudes obsess over who's gay or not, often with no sense at all. At the end of the day, homosexuality has been shamed because if guys could fuck each other without shame, nothing would get done. It's about playing the submissive role, and that kills masculinity.
For a guy like that, he's going out with a woman. He could technically not have penitentiary contact with her vulva.
Cunnilingus and psychology brought us here. Loving your partner and giving pleasure is somehow an act of bravery in some circles. Yeah, loving eating pussy might make you gay as fuck in their eyes, even if you don't want cock. Like an old Roman once said, "Whoever licks the hole sucks the pole by proxy." Sounds funny, maybe, but some people are dead serious. Junior singing at a funeral might be the most emotional and cringe-worthy moment ever, and nobody talks about why it actually works.
Come on, Junior, sing it! Come on!
Nah, that's too hard. No, bring it down.
It's not bad when he's had a few bukas.
Junior's song at Jackie Jr.'s funeral? Yeah, that made me cry. I mean, come on, it was a masterpiece. When he started singing in Italian, I lost it. Turns out he's not that bad once he's had a few drinks. But let's be honest, my respect for him as a man just took a nosedive. When old guys start singing in Italian, all bets are off. It's well known the guy's a total emotional wreck. Loves his uncle? Sure, but crying like a woman at a funeral? That's just embarrassing. Not even Cinderella cried at the garbage man's ball, and she had her reasons. The song Cor Ingrato means ungrateful heart. Classic choice for this scene. This was such a great moment.
Actually, yeah. I think it was 51.
Meadow rebelling by getting tipsy, singing Britney Spears, and throwing what looked like breadsticks. Seriously? She really needs to get over it. Probably off doing some nonsense somewhere else. Total nonsense. Still, it was a beautiful scene. Meadow throwing things at Junior? Yeah, that was irritating. But maybe she saw the hypocrisy, that her own family was responsible for her ex's death. The scene aimed to show her conflicting feelings after defending her family and lifestyle, but the timing was off, and it felt a bit out of character. Honestly, it's one of the few moments where her character felt a little poorly written.
You can tell that. She's a little drunk.
Or maybe not. She was drunk, after all. And after a season where her father alienated one boyfriend and sanctioned the death of another, it makes sense that she would lose her composure. Meadow isn't like AJ. She has more emotional maturity. She'd keep it together unless she was right there with her parents. So, this scene is actually quite in character for her bratty but vulnerable self. Dominic really has some serious vocal chops. Junior singing Cor Ingrato up in the club? Impressive. But seriously, crying like a woman? That's a disgrace. Junior, you make me want to cry for you. It's just a TV show, but if you want to laugh, look up a more upbeat version of that scene. It'll dry your tears faster than you can imagine. Junior was always a bit of a fool. Remember when he almost drowned in a tiny amount of water? Classic. And the weird mix of Chinese and Spanish music in the background? That was something else. Forget everything you think about the mafia today. Vito's story proves some things never change. If The Sopranos was set in 2025, would Vito still get whacked? Or would the mob cut him some slack because, you know, times have changed. Let's be real.
He was fucking stalking you.
That's the thing with the gang. Still living in the closet. Make some DVs.
No compromises. No 20 years in the can. No betrayals for Paulie. It's 2025. Pillow biters are stealing luggage at the Department of Energy. The quote was from 2000. There's pillow biters in the Special Forces. Sam Brinton, a former nuclear official, got caught stealing designer dresses for official appearances. The guy actually ruled. Fast forward, a president lets a massive tax fraudster out of prison because he was on reality TV and handed over some cash. Pillow biters stealing the Kennedy Center. The luggage theft? A few years ago.
Say what you will about Richie Aprile, but when he found out his son was gay, he did the right thing. He disowned him.
But in the mafia world, still 1954. As Avon Barksdale said, the streets is the streets. The game doesn't change. If people think you're weak, they'll take your stuff. That's what Avon meant when he told Stringer. They saw your parade float ass coming from miles away. Vito's not the first, nor the last. He's just the one who got caught. Would he still be out in 25? Probably. The Bing even has litter boxes for strippers who identify as cats now. Some people would pay extra just to be buried in them first. The mafia is still fairly homophobic. People are people, and times change slowly, even in the mob. Maybe Vito would blend in better now, but he'd probably still be screwed. It's 2:25. Tony drives through tolls with Easy Pass instead of grabbing tickets. If they were 100% straight, they'd likely still get whacked. Tony's crew would probably be diverse now. Asian, black, white, because to be made, you have to be 100% Italian, right? These rules are outdated. Now you just identify as 100% Italian and kiss the boss's ass. Classic greaseball bullshit. There were plenty of made guys who weren't Sicilian. Gotti was Neapolitan, and no stigmas today. Out there, it's 25, but in Satrielli's, it's still 1950. The OGs have been running a don't ask, don't tell policy for years. Vito was right that he couldn't be a big-time construction magnate, but other rackets? Sure, he'd have a shot now. If he and Marie split, he'd just fade into the background as another divorced making a living. No one cares how he spends his time as long as the envelopes arrive full and on time.
Vacuum at the top.
If the show was set now, most of the guys would be cashing government checks, not running rackets. They thought Cheney was their guy, but no one saw the worldwide disease bailout coming for anyone with a heartbeat and a New Jersey connection. Would there be no whackings in 2025? Doubt it. The show has 93 murders, way too much violence even for the early 2000s. Remember, anti-LGBTQ sentiment was a big part of some political platforms. The mob is no exception. Back then, gays wanted to be left alone. Now it's become all about paranoia and fear-mongering. So men in dresses competing in women's sports looks reasonable by comparison. The mob still clings to tradition. Even if Tony wanted to give Vito a pass, his past comments about Governor McGreevy painted him into a corner. Not everyone in the mob cares, but hiding a double or triple life means Vito would have lied a lot. They can't just ignore that. If Vito had been out from adolescence, working quietly, maybe they'd let him kick up. No beard wife to insult anyone's honor. No deception. He might not get made or join a crew, but could hustle enough cash to keep quiet. The mob ran gay clubs back in the day. It was illegal, so it made sense. Vito wouldn't work directly for them unless on contract hits. Tony actually considered Vito's proposal, but once he was outed after being made and starting a family with a mobster's sister, that was the end of the road. If everyone knew from the start, Vito would be the butt of jokes, but they'd still take his money. The mafia is a shadow of its former self. Even in the 2000s, it was borderline anachronistic.
Father told me Vito doesn't renounce that lifestyle. He's damned.
I know.
What?
I know.
Father put it so well last week.
Strict Catholics. Homophobia still rules. Would Vito be whacked now? Probably not, because the mafia rarely kills anymore. He'd be tolerated or mocked. Bobby would correct pronouns. They haven't been heard from in a while. Chris would quip, he's certainly fat enough to count as they. It's 1950 in there. Vito bailed on his duties as captain, husband, and father. He should have died, clipped as it should have happened. No fentanyl routes, please. He wouldn't be accepted today either. If Vito played it right, laid low, spread cash around, the Sopranos might grudgingly accept him, Tony leading the charge. But Tony would cynically give him up to Phil for being traditional. Phil's attitudes haven't changed. He'd still kill Vito in a humiliating way. So basically, nothing changes except Tony looks even more monstrous. The Sopranos is officially a period piece now. No quotes in my quote book, but 20 years later, fat fuck all changes. It's 25. People know the side effects of meds better, but the mafia, they don't whack anymore. They shelf or freeze you out. Imagine this, Tony. The LGBTQ angle might score some grant money for the Bing if we keep him around. Carlo. 2 minutes ago, you wanted Vito's head. Tony. Fuck, Sil, what do you think? Bottom line, mobsters live in a different century, following bizarre rules. Vito would still be whacked. Stop believing the usual family theories about Paulie. This one about Russ Figoli changes everything.
And there was this soldier, Russ, and he was so lonely.
Hey, Daddy.
Did have a baby, Paulie.
So, BBQ jerk Russ Figoli is supposedly Paulie's father. Sounds crazy, but it actually kinda fits. Except Russ looks about the same age as Paulie, maybe even younger. Forget the actors' real ages for a second. The idea still has some punch.
Russ Figoli? He's in town?
He retired from the Foreign Service.
They were living out in...
Then there's Dr. Fago. Who's this guy? Figoli. Some say he was the governor of Maryland. No idea if that's a joke or just nonsense, but it's funny either way. Poor Figoli was so lonely, Dottie had to get involved. She was definitely trouble. And he wasn't called the governor of Maryland before that? What's the deal? And now, wait, crabs? First it was Beansy, then Russ Figoli. Fun fact, Figoli means beans. Ever notice that? Beans. And that poor kid who had a terrible accident. Seriously, some of these lines were painfully awkward. G.I. Prick must have been the top of his class, always coming up with theories and scenarios. Not to mention, the guy who came up with this theory supposedly nearly drowned in 3 inches of water. Yeah, real impressive. Did he get run over by a trolley or something? Because that would explain a lot. Trolley Figoli. Sounds similar, right? Could have been his dad, and again with the near drowning in 3 inches of water. Paulie's no spring chicken, but Dr. Fago definitely wasn't younger. Half-brothers, maybe? Russ's dad knocked up Paulie's mom, or maybe aunt. Family name was Fagorelli. Bruce Kirby, Figoli, was born in 1925. Tony Sirico, Paulie, in 1942. So there's some wiggle room with ages. Here's a question. Do you think the soldier who slept with Dottie told her his real name or made one up? Impossible to say, even with today's tech. The show has this weird vibe. Part satanic black magic, part family drama. Look at their personalities. Both pompous assholes. And conspiracy theories? The writers must have had a blast with this character.
Friend, Dr. Russ Lena Figoli. Nice to meet you.
I just wish Russ had been in more episodes. Maybe a scene hinting Carm's mom had a fling with Russ, then cut to Carm and that ponytail guy. You mean Junta? Yeah, he was a doctor, like Kissinger. And he also had crabs around that time. They never exported, you see. Paulie's mom, or aunt, did say his dad was a soldier named Russ. Dr. Fago knows Beretta never exports their best pieces. They keep the good stuff at home. We know Russ had several kids. Paulie got sent away because Figoli didn't export the best ones. So does that mean Paulie and Clemenza are brothers? Honestly, family trees like these are confusing. If you don't comment and like this video, I'm gonna assume you're one of those anti-pussy-eating finooks. Don't make me call my ma about this. She'll be very upset.